We're talking with Lecrae Moore. The book is I Am Restored: How I Lost My Religion but Found My Faith. Chapter 5, Make America Great Again, question mark. Tell me about that chapter.
I mean, exactly. It's a question mark. I think we all were wondering, well, I won't say we all, many of us were wondering, what exactly does it mean to make America great again? Who was it exactly great for? At what point in time? If I trace my history back, I see my great 3 times great grandmother getting kidnapped from Africa and brought over here. I see, her being a slave. I see her children being slaves and their children being sharecroppers, and my mother existing in segregated civil rights era, and it was never great for any of them. So I'm just wondering what period of time this is and who the people were who got to experience this greatness, because I myself can't point to that in my family history.
Are you optimistic? I mean, there are people that think that Trump is here to usher in the second coming of Jesus. So they're praying for his success, the treaty with Israel, the 3 years of peace followed by Armageddon. If you read Revelations, you know that story. And so they believe that, the little head that emerges from the wound, they have this prophecy, that they are praying for Jesus to come back, not really understanding what that actually means
Sure.
and the destruction that's coming with that. And it says in the last days you will wish for death and it will not come. Like, that's how horrific. Do you really want that? Okay. All right, y'all. All right. Because you think you're going to be spared from it? I don't know. I don't know that you are. Because there's no rapture. But we can have that discussion another time. But, as you look at this nation unfold, politically, I'm assuming, so let me not assume, that you're a voter, that you're somebody that advocates voting, Lecrae.
Absolutely.
Okay, just want to be clear before we have a fight, because I will we will have to have a discussion about that. But as you're watching this country like literally head towards a brick wall because of the lack of humanity. A man was murdered yesterday in Philly on the streets, broad daylight. Sure, he had a knife, but he was a human being, maybe a criminal, could have been arrested. 10 bullets in a neighborhood, and this is not the first, second, third, 100th time that we've had this story in America. And you start to see that there are a whole lot of people that care about unborn babies, but not about grown human beings. What do you say to them? Because they like you, Lecrae Moore. Those folk like you.
They do, and they're rooting for me to be an advocate. And listen, I am a pro-lifer, but I'm a pro-lifer from the womb to the tomb. So I believe it all the way to the end. And here's what I my struggle right now is, especially for those people who are anticipating, who in their mind they're saying, man, my vote for Trump is me aligning myself with a pro-life agenda. Well, I would say that historically Christians have been, um, you know, filled with this idea that the Republican Party is going to end abortion and going to put a stop to this whole idea of abortion, which has never happened in the 50 years since Roe versus Wade. With every Republican candidate or president we've had, it has happened. As a matter of fact, the abortion rate was lowest when Obama was in office, a Democrat. So to me, I guess I'm like, you're not thinking about this in a very critical way. What you're doing is you're a one issue voter because you believe that some kind of way this person is going to end this, or you're saying, well, this aligns with my ideals, and you're saying, well, I want to pit this ideal over these ideals. But why are you combating that? Like, when is it okay ever to decide, well, you know what, which evil is better to me? When is that ever okay? The electric chair or stab him? Like, when is that ever a good idea to debate which one is the best or which one is the worst? I think somebody being shot in Philly is terrible. I think, you know what I'm saying? My decision to force my girlfriend to terminate a pregnancy was terrible. there's not one of them that's better than the other. And so you can't sit here and make me believe that this vote is the right vote and that vote is the wrong vote. I think that you're going to have to get on your knees and you're going to have to come to grips with the reality of what's best for our nation and what's best for society.
When I think about the Great Commission, I am confused by how people think that that is how you can win souls by condemning and judging and wagging your finger at people. Even let's take the issue of abortion, right? I don't believe in it. I don't think people should do it. But to stand outside an abortion clinic with pit posters of unborn, whatever, embryos and calling people names and, trying to blow up abortion clinics, I don't know how that's doing God's work. And even when, I joke about Jehovah's Witnesses and when they knock on my door and I'm saying, like, first of all, you're making several assumptions. Like, maybe I already have a relationship with Jesus. Why don't you form a relationship with me? Because that's what I saw Jesus do, form relationships with people. He had bonds with people. People went to where he was. He didn't have to come to them. He was out chilling. They would show up. He would be over there near the water. They would show up because somebody said he's got some good news for me. And I was like, if you are really that person that's following Christ, be the person that has the good news. Be the person that people want to come to hear what you got to say instead of condemning. And I feel like from Cathay to all of these so-called Christians who have businesses and they're going to shut down on Sunday, but condemn people Monday through Saturday. I struggle with how that lines up with the word and all of these fake Christian pastors that have these churches that are sitting there laying hands on this 3-time divorced, person who had sex with a porn star while his wife was pregnant and had a baby out of wedlock and has defrauded people and is just a horrible, despicable human being. And I'm making not a judgment. These are facts, but maybe I'm judging a little bit. But at the same time, how as a Christian do you align yourself with this and say that this is somebody I'm going to pray for? Yeah, pray for him. But is that your alignment? I struggle, Lecrae, with the hypocrisy. Yeah. Can you help me suss it out?
I honestly think, and because I have friends who are very vocal about their perspective in that particular area. And I think for them, their mindset is that, hey, I think there's multiple categories. So the conversations that I've had is, hey, I don't like that character stuff either, but I'm looking at what's best for the nation. And I don't believe that, socialism or globalism is going to lead us in a healthy direction, right? So that's a mentality and a mindset that certain people have. Another perspective is that, yes, I don't agree with his character and I don't think it's right, but at the same time, I can't point fingers at him, we all fall short and that excuses it. But I'll be honest, what I think, and I can't speak for everybody, but the one that probably does disturb me is that you love your nation or your idea of your nation more than you love the people in it and all of the people in it, right? You love the idea of the power and the control more than you love the people inside of it. And so the flag is not sacred. It's not, you love the idea of the flag more than what the flag should represent. And it should represent one nation under God, indivisible, connected, caring for one another. But if it doesn't represent that, then you're in love with an idea. And I think most people are in love with the idea of nationalism and not the actual nationals, the people in the US of A.
Do you foresee, I'm usually optimistic, very faithful. For the first time, I've not been optimistic. As I look at this nation, I'm no longer wedded to the notion that it can be fixed. I think that it was born in hypocrisy, built on blood and murder and destruction. And I think that the root is poison, and I don't know that it can grow anything good. That's how I feel. And I had to come to this conclusion after watching 8 minutes and 46 seconds of George Floyd having a life literally choked out of him, which shot the entire world, put the entire world on notice, has not changed the temper and the tone of the rhetoric coming out of the White House and many corners of this country. I don't know that there's any change that is going to happen. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
I think all dynasties must come to an end. Rome had to crumble. Spain, as it was at one point in time, had to crumble. The Portugal, all the European powers who at one point in time, Greece, whoever who ruled and reigned with blood and with terror, all had to come to an end. And so I, again, I am not ungrateful to live here. I've been around the world. I'm glad to be here. I've seen the opportunities that I get from being an American citizen. I'm grateful. At the same time, as a Christian, this ain't my home. My kingdom's above. So I'm not, it's the kingdom before the nation for me. I'm not, like you said, I want the best for us here, but I want the best for us globally. And I know that scares conservatives and I know that's scary to them because I'm saying global, but for God so loved the world, not for God so loved America.
Wait, hold on. What God had borders? What God you serving that divvied up the land in such a way? This is, again, it's so anti-Christian, anti-Christ, this behavior that we're experiencing. 866-801-8255. Lecrae, I came into this, again, I was like, I don't know about all of this, but I was reading your book and I was like, okay, all right, I think he's legit. He's real about this walk that he's on. The book is I Am Restored. What are you reading besides your own works?
No. Man, I'm reading. I've probably done a lot of reading over the last couple of years. On the faith side, I love the lost history of Christianity. Why Nations Fail is another great book that I've had the chance to dive into. Of course, I've read why all the black kids eating together in the cafeteria, and I enjoyed Dick Gregory's historical account. I forgot the name of the book, but
what, Nigger? It's called Nigger. His autobiography? Yeah, it's called Nigger. Yep.
Oh, I don't know if that. I guess that was the book.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the book.
Awesome.
But I did the audiobook and it was great. I thought it was hysterical. So yeah, I'm constantly just perusing and just trying to grasp a hold. It's so much. We're in an information flood right now, so it's hard to figure out what exactly I should be reading right now.
What are you praying for right now?
Oof. You know what? I'm praying that my kids, I have little kids who are growing up in this current environment. I'm praying that my ceiling can be their floor, that they will have more to look forward to and to navigate than I did. And that they won't be conditioned by all of this negativity. I mean, they've seen in their short life, in my son's 9 years of life, he's seen so much death, so much division, so much chaos. And I'm praying that the future looks a lot brighter for his generation.
I want to invite you back. I want to continue a conversation. I think we don't talk enough with one another. I don't think we bang up against one another to, smooth off our rough edges and also, challenge ourselves in our discomfort to find common ground and also ways that maybe I can look at this a little bit differently. And I think that you are in the trenches. You have the ear of people who need to hear what it is that you're saying, but also people that you can influence to see things differently. And I like that. And I want to align with you to make some changes globally.
I appreciate that. I thought I was gonna come in here and get beat up. I'm grateful.
Oh, somebody told you that? You heard that somewhere?
No. I'm familiar with you. I just know. I said you don't play, so I was like, hey.
Let's talk about that for a second. Why would that evoke fear as opposed to an opportunity to have? Because if anything, I'm fair. I am so fair. Like, I really want to know you. I'm not.
No, you are.
I'm not here to get you. I want to know you. But I'm gonna. Yeah.
But you don't mince words. You do not mince words.
Why should we? They're not. It's not meat. These are words. They're powerful. Why should we mince them? We should use them and get to the truth.
Oh, hey, listen. You know what? Honestly, I wouldn't have come to the perspective that I've come to had Black women like yourself not rubbed up against me and sharpened me up after I got off that interview. So I'm all for it, and I welcome it.
All right. Well, Lecrae, you have an open seat at this table. I was concerned that you may not have the bandwidth, but I am now very, very sure that you do, and I'm extremely proud of what you've been able to accomplish. And anybody that can have best-selling books, but books that actually have food in it. I mean, your book has food that people can learn and grow and be nourished by. I just want to say thank you for being here today.